The moment you come to the villa, man's cold gaze swept over you. I hear that you have been out for a day. Unexpectedly, his voice was gentle and pliant, but his eyes was ice cold. You tried to look as relaxed as possible. Well, I went out to meet my friend. Are you happy with the car? You can change it anytime if you don't like it. He continued to look at you and you stand still in front like child scolded by their elders. You nodded quickly. I'm very happy with it. Thank you, Mr. John. It's too polite and formal. Call me husband. The blood in your body rised up. Husband? Why? Tell me. Am I not your legal husband? He elegantly put his hand on his forehead, leaning back on the sofa. Yes, yes, but I. You lowered your head and didn't dare to look at him. Seeing how skilled you are, he didn't argue with this little girl. He chuckled. Well, you know in your heart that I'm your husband. What happened to your phone? You were stunned. My battery died in the afternoon. Today I went out to have lunch and do shopping with my friend cause I didn't contact her for a while. It's pity that before you could do many more, you were taken away by those people. Oh, is that so? He raised the corner of his lips. It's true, you insist. Why? His face slowly became serious. Let me remind you, I didn't force you to marry me. You willingly married me, right? You clenched your fists? Yes. It's good that you know it. What did they say to you? His gentleness could not decrease his anger at all. His words are all polite with his straight expression. Each thinks he couldn't avoid it. You remember what old man asked you to verify whether he is gay or not and to adjust his desires. But how could you say it to him? He just asked me how we live after marriage, whether it's harmonious. Your eyes drifted. His gaze seems to penetrate through your face and look into your laying heart. Oh, how did you answer him? It's very harmonious. Your heart is full of tears after laying. After a long man withdrew his gaze and stood up. Don't contact with John family in the future. Don't make me repeat this again. If he didn't get the news for the last minute that John family's people had taken you, it was hard to say that what will old master will tell you about him, and maybe it will be hard for him to maintain good relationship. You saw him walking away, and it seems your heart is itching to scold him now, behind his back. What's wrong with you? Why do you have such a bad face when I come back? Madam, Mr. Bang tried to shush you. Although you have freedom and almost caught him into trouble, he is still kind to you. You pursed your lips and didn't say anything bad. Sir came early today. He will have dinner with you. Go and fetch first. Mr. Bang is like a good elder to you. After dinner, Jungkook went to his room to take a shower. You walked to the stairs lazily and knocked the main bedroom. What's the matter? Jungkook, wrapped in towel, opened the door. His hair was wet and it's sticking on his forehead. He looked different from the man who wore formal suit in a daytime. The man in front of you seemed less indifferent but more real. Your lips move. That speak. He leaned against the door with his arms folded, with a clean smell of shower gel on his body. Upper, broad chest and strong bicep. You don't have thing for tattoos, but look at him. Want to keep repeating. He raised his piercing eyebrow and by the lip ring you are blushing. He always triggered your hormone. Today I wasn't lying about my phone's battery being out. Okay, he gently responded, but you couldn't hear any emotions. So, I'm sorry for what happened today. I know what kind of marriage we are in. If you are not happy, I won't contact the Joan family in the future. Why? You don't have to explain this to me. I told you. You have free life after marriage. You don't have to care about those people. The words I told you in the hall just now were to remind you that you have something you have to keep in our marriage. So I hope you respect it, okay? Good night. Jungkook, you saw he was about to close the door and became anxious. What's wrong? Can you bite your lower lips? Can you cancel one thing? Which one? I don't want to have child now. At least not in this age. Maybe a little later. He didn't speak. We got married peacefully. I think I need more time. After hearing from old master that Jungkook has someone very important in his heart, you twisted your fingers. When the times come, if you need it, we can also get a peaceful divorce. Look, knowing that there was someone in his heart, you're doing a great thing to help him. Jungkook walked closer to you, stretching out his tattooed hand to rise to your chin, coming closer that his breath almost merged with yours. Your heart started to beat unnaturally. Just as his lips going to touch on yours, he loosened his grip. No, you have to give birth to a child for me. He backed away. And the door was shut closed. You stood there blankly. You turned around to go to your room, touching the place he had hold. It was hot. The way he approached and almost touched his lips on yours, the warmth breath. You roared and waved away the scene. In the master bedroom, Jungkook sat in front of the window while holding a piece of paper, thinking about what you had said just now. He dialed his secretary's number and asked to investigate what old man wanted to do. Finding you, after hanging the call, he opened the gallery and tapped on the particular picture that he used to see every day. A faint smile appeared on his lips. Pictures of a little girl wearing skirt and top, and girl's hair is little messy. Laughing visible dimple on girl's cheeks made her look cute. Jungkook's expression was soft at this time. Go, Cookie, look here. That voice was sweet like candy. Glassy, almond-like big eyes. Go, am I cute? And he used to caress that dimpled cheeks. In the present, he knew that he wasn't in that girl's memory anymore. She had forgotten him since long time ago. Even though he couldn't forget her for once, he didn't know if he felt sad for her or it's just his childhood was full of happiness caused of that girl. He just wished that he can at least make it up to her. The reason that girl forget him was himself. He had caused her a great harm. That little girl suffered by amnestic syndrome and she forget her childhood memories and the parts he used to be. The next day, you made an important decision and make lunch for him, almost spending 2 hours in the kitchen watching YouTube videos. Madam, what are you doing in the kitchen again? Mr. Bang couldn't stop you. No matter how many times he told you not to come, but still you insist on. You see, yesterday Jungkook became upset cause of me, so I'm making lunch for him to send it to his company. Mr. Bang was shocked. No, madam, you don't have to do that. Who dared to eat the food that you made? Why not? Today's meal is completely cooked and I made sure to taste it. There is something wrong with me to care about him. Are you sure? Mr. Bang complained in his heart cause he don't believe it. Tasting a bit and eating is different things. Madam, sir usually eat outside at noon. Sometimes he would eat with guests or ordered takeout from hotel. There is no need to worry for him. But if you sent this lunch, then it's definitely the things to be worried. But this time, I am personally going to warm him up. You insisted on happily and immediately get ready. Did light makes up and rushed outside. Bodyguard drove you to Jungkook's company. Watching the car drove away, Mr. Bang frowned. Master, take care. This was Madam's love lunch, and it was not easy for us to stop. Half an hour later, you stand in front of big building. It was multinational company, Hybe. There is many people wearing formal dresses. Some are foreigners' clients. People sending them respectfully or welcoming them. You walked with bag that carries lunchbox, but security stopped you. Miss, who are you looking for? I'm looking for Jungkook, you said. Securities looked at each other, thinking that you must be someone who wants to get close to President John. Looking at you, they felt quite familiar, but they couldn't remember. Where did they saw you? Miss, do you have appointment? What is your name? The securities guards clasped their hands behind their back, looking strict. No, I came here to give him lunch that I prepare. Miss, please leave. Many people came here to get close to Jungkook, so they thought you were also one of them. You couldn't even pass the security check. Then how you gonna get into his office? Not having any choice, you dial Jungkook's number. After a short time, he responds, I'm outside the Hybe Enterprise. Can I go in? Two securities are trying to figure who you are calling. After waiting 10 minutes, manager came down. Miss Fine, why are you here? President John is little busy now. Why didn't you tell me in advance? After Jimin came and said, he turned to securities. If Miss Fine comes again, there is no need to stop her. Take her to President John's office directly. Two securities immediately lowered their heads. Yes, manager. Okay, this way. Jimin led the way upstairs by elevator. Jungkook just disclosed the meeting and shareholders went out one by one. You felt so small in front of these people. Why would big shot like Jungkook marry you? Maybe you are really a lucky dog. Mrs. Joan, President Joan is inside. You can go in. Jimin sure? No. How to use his respective cards? Oh, okay. Thank you. You both waited for a while till all people walked out. As soon as the elites in the company left, Taeyong walked to Jungkook, drinking water. Did Jimin go downstairs to pick up Mrs. Jones just now? Jungkook leaned on his seat and took off his glasses. Kim Taeyong, my madam is coming on. Shouldn't you leave? Madam? Taeyong laughed. I remembered someone said that he was not interested in that little girl. Why did he marry her now and called her his madam? It seems like President John really likes his wife very much. Is there anything strange that to like my own wife? He looked at Taeyong coldly. It will be definitely strange if he likes someone else's wife instead. No, I'm just going to say hello to Wine. You both are getting well, are not you? Taeyong, it's impolite to inquire about other people's marriage life. Don't be so cold. Taeyong walked close and bent down to Jungkook, close to his face. Let me see what is hidden in President Jones' face that makes women obsessed. Jimin opened the door at this time and walked you in. President Joan, Mrs. Joan is here. And you froze on the spot seeing Taeyong and Jungkook close face to face. You had watched in many dramas that man fall in love with man and read some guys' comics. They must be kissing. Jimin was also stunned, and after a few blank seconds, you quickly retreated and bowed your head. I'm sorry, please continue. I will wait outside. You immediately turned around and leaned against the wall, and a few nights ago, what he had said flashed in your mind. I slept with you twice and held our wedding. My orientations should be clear to you. You gritted your teeth. The smile was ferocious and the eyes were full of anger. Jungkook, that man, he even lied to me. In the office, Taeyong slowly retrieved himself back blankly. Mrs. Joan must misunderstood us. Jungkook sighed unbothered. Alright, you can go. As the number one businessman in Asia, no one dared to talk to him in this way. But Taeyong is his friend, reveling his boxy smile. Taeyong walked out of office. Okay, I will give you 2 time for yourself. Don't forget to make Mrs. Joan happy. Taeyong walked out. Mrs. Joan, what's wrong? Didn't you bring a love lunch to President Joan? Oh, I just came to have a look around. You tightly held lunchbox bag. Oh, you should take a look around. Well, I gave you and Jungkook red envelope on the wedding day. I didn't expect Jungkook to ask us to give money. I had given a lot. You guys should thank me. You smiled and scoffed in your heart. Mrs. Joan, take care. He was trying to be polite, but you looked at him as if he's your husband and forced a generous smile. Jimin and Taeyong left and you walked in with your head low down, avoiding Jungkook's eyes contact. What are you doing here? You glanced at the side. Nothing, I just came to bring you lunch. But you didn't expect to meet such a big thing. Lunch? Jungkook looked at the bag. Didn't Mr. Bang tell you that you don't need to cook? I insisted to cook. Jungkook's eyes darkened. Does his housekeeper want this woman to cook and poison him to death? Today's meal is different from last time. I have tasted and it's fully cooked. You wore a delicate, elegant floral knee-length skirt, outlining for exquisite figure, and vividly, the pair of creamy skin of slender legs made your beauty more stunner that your presence was enough to arouse men's desires. Especially when you held the lunchbox like an obedient little wife, he didn't want to eat anything but you. He wasn't a man without emotions. It's common for normal man to have reaction. He stared at you for long and sighed. Put down the lunchbox, you should go back first.